This is a Red Sox Roundtable. Alex, Barth, Nick Quaglia with you, talking about one of our favorite topics, and that is one David Price. He was scratched from Game 2 of the series against the Yankees with a what was it? He didn't have feeling in his. It's too long to finger quote. He's not feeling his hand again, which was only supposed to be a problem in the cold. Now he bows out of the start. Not disastrous this time because the Red Sox had the off day Monday, so Eduardo Rodriguez is expected to start on normal rest. But what are they going to do with this guy? It's another 4 years, and more importantly, another $127 million worth of this kind of crap. I know what you're going to tell me, Nick. He can turn it around. He was a Cy Young pitcher. He can fix it. On what evidence are you going by that? Because this is the only David Price we've seen in a Red Sox uniform.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, you're assuming that that's going to be my take right now, and
I did just 8 Mile you.
Yeah. No,
I took your argument before you could use it.
You're assuming
everybody
that
in
I'm
the
going to go with
3-1-3.
that. Assuming that I'm going to go with that, but I mean, I come into every Red Sox season and we've seen players turn it around before. I really thought David Price was going to turn it around, and he still could. There's still a good.
Oh, come on, Nick.
There's still a good chance. Listen, there's still a good chance that
You
later
know
on in
what's
the season he'll be fine. We saw him pitch great last year. We know this guy has it in him. But my concern in the biggest thing
when he pitched great, what was his role? When he was really pitching at his best?
I mean, first 2 games of the season, he was a starter.
No, when he was pitching at his best, what was his role? Answer the question.
He was a relief pitcher. He was a 1-inning man, more of a setup man. I don't want to see a $31 million setup man, to be honest with you. I'd
rather that than another guy like what's his name, the Cuban guy, Rusney Castillo, just sitting in the minors, eating up a massive contract off the 40-man roster.
Okay, well, here's the thing. My biggest concern with David Price right now is it's not that he's not going to come back and play. It's that he is going to come back and play. He's going to keep getting shelled. We know how soft this guy is. He's going to come back, and then we're going to have a big problem on our hands because he's going to come back. He's going to get shelled occasionally, and I already think he's kind of falling back into what he was last year. I think he's getting worried. I think he's getting nervous. I think he knows that the fans are already pissed off at him again. What else? Another thing that concerned me today that I heard today from Tony Maz on 98.5 The Sports Hub was that he apparently even said that it was a little colder in Anaheim, in California. It was the low 60s.
Oh.
Listen, buddy, if that is low temperature for you, then we're going to have a real problem because this is Massachusetts. Here? If you want to win Boston baseball, you're going to have to pitch your ass off in the playoffs, pal. You're going to have to pitch well in freaking October. It's absurd. It is nuts.
Here's the thing with David Price. Every pitcher goes through slumps, even the best. But you have to pitch your way through the slump. You have to keep pitching. The only way out is through. Every time he has a couple bad starts, he throws himself on the DL. He completely takes himself out of rhythm. Then he has to start all over again. The guy is afraid of pitching through a slump, and because of that, he becomes completely unusable. Now, look, maybe it's just this one start he's missing, and he'll make his next start. That's fine. All right. If he needs to miss a start against the Yankees, who have owned him, and that's what he thinks he needs to pick up his confidence, sure. But that's not the guy David Price has been. He's going to go on the DL. He's going to miss a month and a half. He's going to come back and be terrible. They either need to put him in the bullpen or just be done with the guy. It's despicable at this point. And the fact people are even considering the fact that he would opt out of his contract, the Red Sox baby him. This is the exact situation he wants. He gets paid and he doesn't have to pitch.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Opting out wise, I think there's a lot, at least with me, I noticed this, and I might even be a little bit of the type of people who do this. I think there's a bully mentality going on right now with Red Sox fans, and it started last year where they think, hey, if we bully the hell out of this guy and we really let him know that we don't like him, there's a strong chance that he's going to leave just if he doesn't
I led the charge on that. I was saying on shows last year, make fun of his dog on Instagram, egg his car, demote him to single A for a game just because. Whatever you can do to get him off of your team.
I'm so glad his dog. So glad his dog is not part of this team.
He's going to look, he will give you a couple of good starts. Occasionally, he's going to have 2 bad starts, panic, and put himself on the DL, which he can apparently do.
Listen, if this is a real problem, which I don't know if it is, to be honest with you, it could be a real problem, but he says this has affected him his entire life. You're telling me that
why are we just hearing about it now? Why are we just hearing about it now?
You were fine in Detroit. You were fine in Tampa Bay. You were pitching your ass off in Tampa Bay, and you also pitched outside. David Price. So why is it this big of an issue now? This is the thing I don't get.
When he was in Tampa, weren't his numbers at Fenway like outstanding?
Yes,
if I remember correctly.
One of the biggest things when he came to Boston that I remember talking about, I remember a lot of people talking about, were that his American League East numbers were dominant. He loved to pitch in the AL East, and that included
Boston, Toronto.
Going to outdoor stadiums, going to Baltimore, New York, Boston, Toronto's inside. But regardless, he was pitching well outside before. He's a mental midget. The guy's a mental midget. We know it at this point. There's no getting over it. It's either the Red Sox fans are going to have to baby him and say, oh, no, it's okay, David Price, or we're going to have to ride him and hope that he opts out after this year. Because, quite frankly, I like to, again, I start off the year always trying to give people chances, always trying to give people chances.
You were still defending him at the beginning of the show. What is it going to take for you to admit that he's a lost cause?
Because I know what the talent is in there. I feel like I'm talking about Clay Buchholz all over again.
When's the last time we saw that talent? It's the same thing with Clay Buchholz. He threw a no-hitter in his second start and then did bupkis.
We saw his the beginning of this season. It looked like vintage David Price, did it not? His cutter was
He
biting.
threw a good game in Tampa, which is indoors. That's it. He threw a good game against a bad team indoors.
Who did we see?
Against quality opponents, he didn't do anything. He did nothing.
You know what? I wish I had the numbers off the top of my head.
And we didn't see it the year before that.
You know what? No, regardless, we saw that he can pitch the beginning of this year. And also, even regardless,
if it's in Tampa, we knew he could pitch in Tampa. It's the only indoor stadium left in baseball.
If it's relief pitching, it's the same thing. He's still pitching. He's still pitching against good teams. He pitched very well last year against Houston. He pitched very well going down the stretch as a relief pitcher.
Out of the bullpen.
But we know the talent's there.
Right, but you know what the difference is coming out of the bullpen? When he knows he has to start on Wednesday, he starts thinking about it on Monday, panics, and creates some sort of injury. He doesn't have to pitch. If he's coming out of the bullpen, they can't call down to the pen and say, get Price warmed up. And then all of a sudden he says, oh, my arm's hurting. No, he has to go in and pitch. Unfortunately, you have to surprise him. You have to just thrust it on him when he's pitching. You can't give him advance notice because he'll figure out a way to cancel.
Like I said,
boom, David, you're pitching now. Go.
Like I said, he's a mental midget. That's all you can really say with this guy.
Oddly enough, and you'd think mental midget, you don't want him in the bullpen. Oddly enough, when he can't overthink it, he's fine. It's when he has days leading up to a start that he overthinks it and he gets in trouble. Put him in the bullpen so he can't do that. Don't let him know when he's pitching until he's pitching.
I don't want to
sense as that makes. It all works up here.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say David Price might be done in Boston, but man, this also kind of concerns me about.
You don't want to admit I'm right. You know I'm right.
Because I don't want to admit you're right. I do not. It's $31 million a year, and I know the guy has talent. And
Alan Craig, Rusney Castillo, they've wasted money like this before.
Yeah, but listen, as much as you like to paint me as the guy who's always got the positive opinions, I'm with you on a lot of these things. You paint this portrait of me. But regardless, I want to believe in David Price. Is it because I have his jersey in my closet? I don't want that to be wasted money.
I have a Tyler Seguin jersey in my closet I'm too lazy to throw out. Doesn't mean I'm not going to boo him if I ever get to a Bruins game.
I will boo the hell out of him. I will boo the hell out of him if I need to. I just think the guy has the talent, and I think I know it's year 3, but if you can somehow work this out, and if Alex Cora can get to him, Alex Cora's a player's guy. If Alex Cora can get to him, well, then maybe we're going to have something. Maybe we're going to have the guy at the beginning of the season.
I just think Hector Velasquez has been very promising. I still think Brian Johnson has some upside. Even Stephen Wright is coming back. There are other options you can go to. You don't look if they didn't have those 3 guys and Price was the only option, I'd be speaking a different tone. But I'm not holding out hope for this guy when there are other options. And if the rest of those options don't work, fine, go back to him. But at least see what else you have, because it's not working. You can't count on him. This is the biggest series. First time Red Sox and Yankees have met as the top 2 records in baseball since 2002. One of the biggest series in recent Red Sox regular season history. And he bows out about it. He bows out of it. A real gamer, Chris Sale, doesn't bow out of it. Rick Porcello, as much crap as I talk about him as a gamer, he doesn't bow out of that series. Drew Pomeranz got hurt tonight and stayed on the mound. Which one of these things doesn't belong?
David Price. And you have plenty of starting pitchers, too, who can just fill in that role.
I would be totally fine seeing Hector Velasquez. Until 4 o'clock today, I would have been fine seeing Matt Harvey.
Me too. I thought he might have trade Jackie Bradley for Matt Harvey. Teaser for tomorrow's roundtable.
Tomorrow's roundtable. And since you mentioned that, I'm going to cut off. We'll save the rest till tomorrow because we're up against it here. For Nick Quaglia, I'm Alex Barth. You can check out more of our Red Sox content on clnsmedia.com or on Twitter at Red Sox CLNS. Thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow.